Jaime Maussan.
Thank you. Let me see if this works. Yeah, it is better if this works? Yes. Then I can move. Otherwise, I'm tied to this one here. Okay. As I said, we're a journalistic program, and we have like 40 people working. I think it's the only office in the world, especially journalistic, do this kind of investigation, and that gives us this advantage to really be aware of what is happening today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to present a video that was recorded in Chelyabinsk today. And with the help I have and the expertise that we have developed through my investigators, we have been able also to more or less, I couldn't say 100%, but I say 99% sure that every single video that I will present you, it's real. We spend a lot of time doing that. We have experts in computers and animation. We have, people who investigate and try to find the witnesses and try to know if something is real and have somehow an image of what is happening. My presentation is purely journalistic. I'm not an ufologist. I respect very much the ufologist, but as Linda Moulton Howe, I'm a professional in presenting news, and I have done that through my life, and that's what I'm going to present you today. Okay, we can start right now. I'm going to start. Is there sound? No. Yeah. Okay. If there is sound, please. We'll let you. Okay. On March and May of last year, the Solar Dynamic Observatory, which is a telescope in the space, was able to record 3 times these large spheres taking energy from the sun. The spheres are larger than the Earth. Freeman Dyson in the 1960s predicted 2 things. One, that when a society develops, creates heat in their planet, and this is happening right now. And second, that these spheres, black spheres, could come close to the Earth, close to the sun, and would take the energy from the sun. And this is amazing. And you can check this in the internet, Freeman Dyson, the spheres of Dyson. And you can see here how these spheres taking the energy, and when it leaves, create this disturbance. And if this is true, then you can imagine what kind of civilizations are visiting Earth. Those who are so developed that they can take the energy directly from our star. It's at least a civilization classified as number 2. Number 1 civilizations are those that can control everything in their planet and have communication around the planet with one language, English, the communication through internet. They have stopped the depletion of the natural sources. Civilization number 2 is those who can take the energy directly from the sun. We have another sphere here. You can see that the energy from the sun is reflecting on this sphere very clearly close to our star. NASA tried to discredit these videos, but they couldn't do it. What they presented, it would take me a long time to do it. I won't. All I can tell you is that we are absolutely sure that this is a real event. Second, I like to present what we think are the most important evidences from Mars, like this picture that was taken on November 9th, 2007. We think that is probably the most important picture ever taken by human beings, especially in a different planet. This picture was discovered by a Chinese team of investigators and then was released to the world. This picture was presented like this, as you know, the woman on Mars. What we did was to take this picture and give the real colors to it. We can see clearly the hand, the dress, the legs, the hair. How can this be? I mean, anyone in their senses would say that it's impossible to have life on Mars. But what is this? NASA said was a rock. I don't think this is a rock. I think you can see the clear colors here in this right side of the screen. Here, we put more filters here, and we were able to see the real colors in this. And we can see the hand, we can see the feet, we can see the other hand over the leg. And it's a very clear picture that, for me, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But to me, this is very important. Crater Gusev, November 9th, 2007. On January of 2006, NASA took this picture that was never released. We obtained it directly from the files of NASA. It's just a mile away from where the other picture was taken. You can clearly see here that this is, it looks artificial. It looks like somebody put little rocks, one on top of the other. Here, you see, how can you have something like this in Mars? And nobody has presented this. Nobody's talking about this, but it's very clear that this is artificial and it's probably a house or something that was probably made by some of the creatures that we just saw. The rover Curiosity also took a picture from a dome just 3 or 4 days after landed. This picture was released by NASA, and then we realized that another dome, probably 2 miles away, was in the middle of nothing, you know? Then we thought that it's probably the same kind of structure that we had taken in January 2006. These are the new pictures from Mars that were released by NASA, and they think Mars was like this until something extraordinary happened, a big catastrophe. As you know, in October or November next year, a big comet is going to probably hit Mars. It's a 3 kilometers in diameter comet. And if this happened, they think that could create a new atmosphere in Mars and probably enough humidity to make it as something very close to Earth. I have to tell you something. NASA just discovered that the temperature in Mars is not as cold as we thought before. The temperature in the winter has been 6 centigrades above zero, and they think that probably in the summer, which is going to be right now, probably it will come to 20 or more centigrades. That would be something like 70 Fahrenheit. Then Mars at night is cold, very cold, probably like in some places in Earth, but in the daytime. And also the atmosphere in Mars is denser when the sun is stronger, is not so bad. The radiation is not as bad as they thought. The soil is very similar to Earth. We have a little brother. Mars is very much like Earth. Something happened. They say probably thousands of millions of years ago. I say that they don't know. I say that this probably happened just a few thousand years ago, or probably even less. We don't really know. everything has been changing in Mars. As Dr. James Hurtak said this morning, they are not releasing and they are not looking now for life. They think they are done with that. The rover Curiosity doesn't have any instruments to look really for organic life. Because as we know, Gilbert Levin in '76, a scientist working for NASA and who made some very interesting experiments in Mars, discovered that there were bacteries. Now Europe is more interested in finding out if there is life on Mars. Why NASA, which is the most prestigious and more advanced space agency, doesn't want to find life on Mars? It's something that I don't understand. Probably Andrew Basiago is right. Probably there are very secret projects there. Probably Dolores should invite Andrew Basiago in some of these years, because it's very interesting what he has to say. Don't believe it. Just listen to him, and then probably you are going to change your mind about Mars as I did. But this is Mars as we know it right now. This is the other pole. As you see, Mars was very much like Earth, and something really bad happened. Probably it's an example for us. Okay, these are the new and last evidence from the moon, all of them from last year. This is from June last year, 10 of June 2012. This object was videotaped from the Earth. The video is real. And we can see an object that is moving on the surface of Mars, the moon, pulsating, like we have seen some other objects in the space. In April last year, we had this video taken in Germany by an astronomer who wants to remain anonymous. He got 4 objects going around the moon. One of them stays. And then moves very fast. We can see this again. We can clearly see that these objects go behind the moon, and this one, which is clearly intelligent, stays there and then moves very fast. This was taken in Argentina by the National Astronomy from Argentina, and we can see all these objects going from the moon. They didn't want to comment. The astronomers there say, oh, we are not looking for UFOs, and that was all. Another video from November last year. What are these? I don't know, but all I can tell you is it's not animation. At the beginning, we mostly saw spheres like this, recorded by Antonio Ursi. This was recorded in Argentina. He's from Milan in Italy. I have been investigating his case. He's probably the best sky watcher in the world. And I will present later some of his video. You can see this sphere with energy in the middle. The witnesses.
Hola, perro.
In Taxco, in Mexico, Hector Garcia has been recording these spheres that seem to be intelligent. They all go around the houses. They almost go inside the houses. They look. We have many videos from him. I just brought 2 or 3. You can see the same sphere going up, now moving from one direction to the other, hiding, looking. Those spheres, of course, are automatic, like Linda Moulton told me, like drones. They are used to investigate. Here we have this recorded 24th of January 2012. You see this sphere going very fast, then stops. Then goes down. This was recorded in 2009 near Moscow. This boy is telling, how you say, an exercise for the school. When they are recording him, and suddenly one of these spheres, like we saw in Tasco, comes.
Хорошо. Молодец. Ух ты, смотри, молодежь, что там на улице? Шарик какой-то.
Ух ты!
Ух ты, как интересно, что это за шарик такой?
НЛО, может быть?
Да
I'm sorry, it's not in English, it's in Russian and Spanish.
Смотри-ка, он двигается, да?
But the image speaks by itself.
Похоже на каплю.
Looks like a UFO, he says.
Я тоже сниму.
I want to record it too.
Ух ты.
Все это в очередной раз подтвердило информацию спецслужб о наличии в Кремле некой группы людей, желающих создания мятежного генерала. Например, копию подробного плана предстоящего штурма Грозного Дудаев по факсу получил из аппарата президента России. Это выяснилось после встречи представителя президента России Аркадия Вольского с Дудаевым.
Передал в руки бумагу, которая здесь шла с особым грифом, которая никак на него не должна была быть. Бумага между нашими двумя руководителями.
Все улетело, да.
Then we saw that these spheres made fleets like this. 2004, you can see all the spheres moving from right to left, no, from left to right on your side. And all of them move together at the same time, the same speed. They never lose the formation. And we have many examples, like here, the spheres creating figures in the sky. In Mexico, we had so many sightings from spheres. Look at them now, flying very fast in groups. They look like birds, but they are not, as we will see. Sometimes they play in the clouds.
Para ser aves.
What do they do? I don't know. Then we have another very similar video from 2010. They move, they create formations, probably like messages, probably they want to attract attention, or probably they're doing something. But the movements are clearly intelligent.
What is this?
Sometimes they
what if that was a bomb? Like, and you got like 5 minutes to live. Awesome.
This was in Texas. It happens here too.
That shit probably right over my house. Timmy probably. I know.
I believe this is from last year.
What is that?
Yo, sorry. Answer this question for me. What if that was a bomb and you only had 5 minutes left in your life?
Here is probably the answer. How they come to Earth. You can see this ship releasing hundreds of spheres in both sides and moving at a very fast speed. This was recorded on the 22nd of May, 2009, just half an hour before an earthquake. I don't know if that has something to do with this. Then the little spheres came to the mothership and went around like playing. And then they go. And then they come back. And they made a fleet. There are, I am presenting one of them, but there are 2 videos of the same event, because some people said, oh, no, that's animation. No, it's not. Here are some UFO sightings, too.
Guarda vicino, corri.
Like this one recorded in Milan, Italy, 29 of April 2007 by Antonio Ursi.
Vai la nonna, corri. Corri. Se ne va. Cazzo. Se ne va, se ne va, se ne va.
The object didn't disappear. He stopped recording because he was falling from the chair he was. He doesn't have windows. He just have, openings in the roof. Okay, skylights. The same object was recorded a year after that, on the 26th of August 2008. He was listening music. The music is there in the apartment of Antonio.
Cavolo. Belli. Belli.
He has so many. I believe he's not a contactee. He doesn't claim to be a contactee, but it is like if he was, because they come to visit him. I have investigated his case since 2005.
Belli.
I'm absolutely convinced of his sincerity, his honesty. This is from 2009. We can see some energy around the object. That's the window.
Bellissimo.
These are just examples of UFOs.
Mamma mia.
He is very emotional when he records this. He feels that when they are coming, he feels like pain in the chest. And he knows. This is from December 22nd, 2012. This is his last video until now. We have seen these kind of objects many times in Mexico City. I don't know why this shape or form. the analyses that were made in different universities in Italy concluded that the video was real and that the object had energy. As you can see, the object is releasing energy. There is energy in the center, and it looks like if the object was making circles. This Skywatcher, or UFO hunter as you want, is very well known in Italy now. And many people are helping him and interested in his sightings because they are, and the investigation have proved that they are absolutely real. And these are big objects. Jim Delatoso here in the US analyzed some of the videos and concluded that they were at least 8-10 meters. I think Haktan Hakdogan is going to present this next year too. I went to Istanbul and to the place where this appeared in the Mar of Marmara. These are different videos from different objects that he recorded there. The place where he records these UFOs, as you can see, this object is making a demonstration or turning the lights off. Haktan is the main investigator here, but I was there for a few days trying to see what they saw. The witness, his name is Jalsin Jalman, and we can see inside the object something that looked like two heads. That's what they think, at least. I don't know what happened to Jalsin Jalman. He got so many videos from 2006, 7, 8, and 9, and suddenly stopped. I haven't been able to listen anything around him, even though the activity in Turkey continues, and Haktan Hakdogan is doing an incredible job there. You can see here the object and the moon. We will see clearly here, because I asked them to give us a point of reference. Here is the craft. You can see it's huge, and something is here. There are at least 2 or 3 heads or creatures, and here is the moon. It makes a close-up. And you can see the moon and the object. These are important sightings of UFO, recent sightings. But for some reason, we have less sightings of big objects and more sightings of spheres and fleets. As I said before, these kind of objects have been recorded in Mexico, as the one that recorded Antonio in December last year in Milan. But these objects are very frequent in Mexico City. This was from 2002, but was presented and given to us just a couple of months ago. The witness kept this object for a long time. You have another. Okay. Right downtown Mexico City, and we can see this rhomboid object. Fortunately, as I said before, many people have cameras in their hands just in case they witness.
¿Es un ovni como sale en la tele, ve? No me muevan. ¿Dónde el maldito zoom?
This is in the coast of Guerrero, close to Acapulco, Zitácuaro. No, I'm sorry, it's close to Michoacán, close to Morelia. Zihuatanejo is close to Acapulco.
¿Es un maldito platillo? Es un platillo, ve. Pues es como un triángulo, ve. ¿Ya viste? Ya se va, no puede ser. ¿Viste eso? ¿Qué pasó? Tenía hasta, por Dios, tenía hasta poquitos. Ya se bajó. ¿Viste que tenía poquitos alrededor? Tenía poquitos alrededor así. Hijo, pero este maldito zoom no la agarraba.
Now I'm going to present something that is happening since last year. We had these probably spheres, drones, whatever, but they now make this kind of movements that we didn't see before. You see, 3 objects, one of them appear. This is Colorado Springs in this very secret base, NORAD. But you see, one of the objects disappears and then reappears in the top. And then disappears. And then again and again. And this is happening in many places now.
What these are, what it is. But I saw one of them in the sky when I was leaving my house, which is back there. Now there are 3 of them.
Then we are now, I have talked about and presented evidences. These objects can be invisible or visible to our eyes. No question around that now. They can be invisible to radars. And they continue and continue. This is in Melbourne, Australia, and the same. This video, by the way, was presented in Russia by the news. They disappear and they reappear again. They make formations. And the Russians were amazed when they presented this in the news. But it's also happening in Chelyabinsk. We will talk about Chelyabinsk and the meteorite. And there's so many sightings that happened before and after the meteorite. It's just amazing. But this is a new kind of event. I had never seen this before until June last year. Since June last year, we have many examples. But I just present a few. This is England, February 17, 2013. And it's just the same. Why are they doing this now? Difficult to say. They appear and disappear. This sighting is from Farmington, New Mexico, just a few weeks ago. I think it's a very good sighting. Myself, I saw a UFO in Farmington when I was doing the Aztec investigation in September 2011. It was very, very impressive. In Farmington, in 1950, there was a parade that was presented in the news and you can look for it in the internet in many states of the country, of the United States. Okay. Let me go here now. We call this mothership's first part because they have the same pattern. This is Vladivostok in Russia, and you have this huge UFO recorded in May 2011, and it's standing still. Most of the time that we see this craft, it doesn't move, it's just standing still. And we can see a line of lights. I think we have solved this mystery, and I will present it later. Why these lights, why sometimes they are aligned, why sometimes they make groups or they make big bodies. This is Australia, Queensland, March 20th, 2012. Also in the middle of the city, this huge object. They have to be big. This is in the border in Mexico, close to Arizona, in San Luis Rio, Colorado, and we have also a huge object just above the border. And when these people saw it closer, it looks very, very big. This is in Wyoming, Green River.
Wait a minute. What?
And this is in Stirling, Scotland. This is October the 6th, 2012. This is in the infrared. That is why you look the video pink. It's a huge object descending. We have it again, recorded by the same witness on the 2nd of February, 2013. Doing exactly the same thing. This is close to the woods, close to a golf course. Pearson McPhee is the witness or the UFO hunter there. He's really good, and he's very famous now in Scotland. We're in touch with him as many other UFO hunters around the world. This is Guadalajara, Mexico. Again, 5th of February 2013. As you can see, these so-called motherships are now more frequent.
Sí, ¿verdad?
Sí, es una nave. Claro que sí, es una nave eso. Jesús, María, qué bonito. Ay, Jesús.
Ok, con el cable.
This is Miami. Three o'clock in the morning, the witness was arriving home, and he saw these three lights above his house, and then the fourth one comes, and creates what it looks like one object. Is this one object behind these lights? We believe so, but I'm going to prove that with a video. This is Spain, 26th of January 2013. Again, the same kind of thing in the middle of the city. Then we will see something very different. We call them motherships too, but they're different. This is 2007, 15th of September, Crimea, and we see these lights coming and disappearing before they go into the craft.
Огнем или красным. Да их там целая серия огней. Ты посмотри, сколько там огней. Ну и что?
You see a group of lights,
А почему не видно ракет?
and some of them coming in or going out.
В прошлый раз было видно, что оно там в него что-то полетело, от него что-то полетело. Ну а сейчас? Ну сейчас ничего не летает.
К нему приближается.
You see, many times they disappear before they get inside or close.
Нет, так... Блин.
А ты сняла?
Да. Чуть-чуть.
Я увидел, что ты сделала.
This is very common now.
Не, ребята, настоящее лово. Заберите нас отсюда с собой!
Иди домой. Офигел.
Заберите нас отсюда всех вместе!
He was asking to be taken by them. You can see here, this is St. Petersburg, 22nd of March. This object came from there, but then we will see something extraordinary. This is downtown St. Petersburg. This was the first time, at least we have 4 videos of the same event, looked at it. They joined together there, very clearly. That was the first year, and we had 4 witnesses recording the same moment. This is 22nd of March, 2011. We have another witness recording the same moment. from a different direction. And all of them are saying, look how they join together. Here we have the 4 videos, and you can see it's in the middle of the city. 4 people recorded the same event. And this is Ukraine, 2nd of September 2011. We call them, as I said, mother ships because they look big and it seems that they take objects inside, or some of them come from the inside to the outside. This is a big object, and we can see the lights. The object is behind, as we will see in another video. These lights are attached to the big object, and these lights can move around, and the object is almost invisible. But it's what is holding these lights together. We will see that clearer. And it's happening in Russia, but it's happening also in many other places. Like in Virginia, here in the US, daylight, we have the same. We have the objects around and moving. We have all these objects around there. The big object doesn't move. But sometimes when these objects get very close to the big one, they become invisible. Now we have St. Petersburg again, 9th of April 2012, and we have again the same group of lights. This happened for 3 nights in a row. Dozens of people recorded these lights. The military came just to say that were military exercises. Right in the middle of a very populated city, nobody saw an airplane. What is the military exercise there? They didn't know what to say. They kept quiet. Then they didn't explain anything else. This is in Syria, right in the middle of the war. We have the same thing here. We can hear the shooting. How can they record UFOs when they are fighting like this, you know?
Look at all of them.
This is South Carolina. They appear and disappear. You can listen to the sea. Right in the beach.
Two or three of them.
Since you can see the ground.
25th of March 2013, St. Petersburg. You can see these 2 groups, 2 motor ships. At least 10 people recorded this. This is video number 1. This is video number 2. We have the 2 motherships there, or wherever they are. You can see these lights coming, and then they disappear when they get close. Video number 3. It is very clear that attract the attention of many people in St. Petersburg. Video number 4. Video number 5. This is a musician. He was playing, and he makes a close-up. Why? Why this craft? Why in so many places? Video number 6. Seven. And this is just 2 weeks ago. Video number 10 or 11. 11.
Ой, еще одна подлетела.
We saw
Ой, еще
one
две
of
подлетело.
the
Нифига
2
себе.
UFOs coming into the large group. And this was recorded by a little boy with a cellular phone.
Ого! Нифига себе! Ты посмотри через эту, вот эту фигню, там не просто жжет.
Video number 10. This was earlier. And then the same witness recorded the 2 groups an hour later. That means that the sighting lasted for 2 hours at least. And then the last video. This is from 7 of April 2013. 18 kilometers, that's like 10 miles from St. Petersburg, and we have the same two groups of lights recorded by a witness on daylight. Three objects, one of them disappears, but now it's four. And now this is probably the solution. Somebody was recording something similar in Guadalajara when something extraordinary happened, lightning. And lightning reveals what we cannot see with our eyes. Then with our equipment, we were able to stop. You saw that? You see the lighting? The lights there, just like we saw before. Okay, and now, look the lights, and look what is behind. And I think we solved it with this video. It means that these lights are attached to a big object that we cannot see. We just see the little lights, and probably they don't want to attract the attention, because if we saw a huge object like this in the middle of a city, would create panic. And probably they just use this energy here, and they move around these drones or spheres or whatever you want to call them to investigate. But I think this eventual sighting in Guadalajara, in Mexico, and with the lighting here, we were able to find and solve why these motor chiefs are like this. This case is fascinating. It happened in Israel, in Jerusalem, on January 28, 2011. Exactly 1 week after the revolts in Egypt started. As you know, in the Bible, it is a prophecy that says that the end of the world was going to be announced by the archangel, by the angel Raphael in Jerusalem. And this is what happened there. I've been investigating this case. I am absolutely convinced, after talking to Eligael Gejaldovich, the man responsible for this, and those around him, that this is a real event. Everything started that night around 12:30 at night, when they were recording this light. We have another man recording with a cell phone this light that is coming down. And where is coming down? To the Temple of the Rock. The Temple of the Rock is the most sacred place for Jews and for Muslims, and even for Catholics and Christians. It's a very special place where, according to the Bible, many times different prophets have met the light, have met God. They have gone to the sky to see God. Look, the object is there, then suddenly, and then goes away. Okay, and this was the first video recorded by Eligael Gejaldovich. The second video was recorded exactly by this man with a cell phone. This is with a cell phone. We have the same object, and we have here the Temple of the Rock. The object stops there, moves for a few seconds. We shorten the video to make it easier to present. And then the third video, as a matter of fact, was the fourth video, because the third one was fake. Somebody who saw this created a hoax, but we were able to find it. I won't lose the time to present that. We already did in Mexico, the program, and I did in many conferences. But this third video, which is the fourth, is presents some students playing around and, partying. And here, They were closer to the object. Here is the Temple of the Rock. Okay, here is what we call the angel because of the prophecy. And you can see here clearer what happened there. And then these lights, when this object disappeared, in all the videos we saw these lights. This is the sixth video. The fifth was also a hoax. Funny people, you know, in YouTube creating when you have a big case like this. And this is was recorded from the Muslim side, from the Muslim side of the city. This is a hotel right here. These are sofas, you see. And then you see the lights, red lights, you know, appearing and disappearing. I don't know what it is. But we have this in the 4 videos. To prove that this is real, we connected the 4 videos, and we can see the same movement at the same time, recorded with different kind of cameras. That is all. You can see the angles. Linda Howe and myself have been investigating this phenomenon, the hum. I don't know if you are familiar with this, but it looks like somebody is trying to attract our attention. You know, these sounds that we are recording around the world, I will present a couple of videos where you will see who is creating them. I think we also solved this mystery, but it's really amazing. And I think it's like in the movie Encounters of the Third Kind, if you remember the sounds, I mean, it's not the same, but it's the same phenomenon. And it's happening, and it's still happening around the world. It's been almost 2 years this going on. I'm going to present little parts of many videos and try to make it as fast as possible. You can put the sound higher, please. This was the first video in Kiev, Poland, San Diego, California, Tampa.
That's a haunting sound, if we've ever heard one. One ball, no strikes. And the bunt is foul. The count is 1-1.
What could that possibly be? Somebody shut the door.
It sounds supernatural.
Hungary. The people who have listened to this become very impressed. In the middle of the woods in Canada. Veracruz, Mexico. Monterrey, Mexico.
normal. Sí se oye que los niños están diciendo. Mira, güey, cómo se pararon los niños.
Has happened in many, many places. Is this an announcement? Is this a message? The people who have listened this become very, very impressed.
Dude. Did you guys hear that?
Everybody feels that it's coming from the sky.
It's weird. I've never heard anything like that.
Mexicali, Mexico. Again in the woods.
Mine's about to die anyway. I don't want to be out here that time. So there, you can hear that. I think I just said.
Can you imagine listening this in the woods? This is El Cabo City in South Africa. We have this light close to the stadium, the soccer stadium. And the sound. This is Virginia in Brazil. You have the sound and it looks like a UFO. Are they creating these sounds? Are they trying to attract our attention? I think so. Who are they? Why are they doing this? That I don't know. Probably it's only one message. You are not alone. It's very simple. Yesterday, there was a presentation with all these crop formations. I don't go through that. I just want to present a few that, for me, prove that they are sending also a message here. You know, this phase that appeared in 2001 that is clearly three-dimensional. When we apply a filter, we can clearly see something else. We can see the light that is hitting some part of the face on the right side of the face, and the left part of the face is in shadows, which proves to me that this is like a photograph, and at the same time they send back the answer to the signal that was released by Carl Sagan and from the Arecibo radar back in 1974, and the result was that they have the same kind of mathematics They have the same number of atoms, and the basic atoms. They have the same chemistry in the DNA, and they have also the same structure in the DNA. And their genome, and this is very interesting, is 1,048,000 nucleotide series higher than us. It means that if we take one series of nucleotides per generation, would be at least 1 million generations older than us. The size, the form, that's their form. The number, they are 20 billion. We are just, we were 4 billion in that year. They live in the third and fourth planet of their system. We live in the third planet. And this is the instrument they use to send the reply, the message back to us, and this appeared on the same place 1 year before. And a year after, we had this. You remember this? Linda Moulton was able to decode this message. Beware of the bearers of false messages and broken promises. Much pain, but still time. Believe there is good out there, and we oppose deception. That's the message here in binary code. I'm sorry, it's in Spanish. Then we have this Mayan. Here they announced the eclipse from 2012, 20th of May 2012. It would be long to tell you exactly how we were able to decode this. And also the transit of Venus through the sun. And this is the microcosm and microcosm, also a Mayan formation. 2005, and in 2006, another Mayan formation. Lamat that remains, it was a remaining of the end of the Mayan calendar and the beginning of the Mayan calendar. It's the symbol that we found in the Dresde Codex regarding the end of the Mayan calendar and the beginning of the new Mayan calendar. The end and the beginning of an era. And 2008, we have this cross, 300 meters and 200 meters. It was amazing. I had been in England. I had to go back just because of that cross. A month later, in the middle of September, when nothing happens there, 24th of September, we had again another three-dimensional cross. And by the 28th of September, we have this cosmic cross. 3 crosses in 1 year. Why? At the end, they left the message here, and the message was very simple in English, as it was before, probably because this happens in England, and the message is also decoded by Linda Moulton, is beware. Okay, you remember, much pain, but still time, and then beware. Beware. You know what it means. When we arrived in the middle of October, they had caught it, but it still remained there. And a year after that, probably the most fascinating of all formations that I have ever seen, July the 30th, 2010, we have 2 circles, one in each side of the M4 highway. We have one here, one here. We realized that this looks like a face, and this looks like the same face in the opposite way. What we did is to put the dots there and to move this and put it together. And that's what we found was that. Remember the cross? Now this, for some people, is the coming of Jesus. I cannot tell you, but it's really, really interesting. Are these messages? And I present all these because this is very amazing. This happened also on November 23rd, 2011. This is Mexico, and unfortunately the formation was destroyed, but we were able to find exactly how it was. It was destroyed because they didn't realize this was there. And we were able, as I said, strictly, I mean, it's very accurate what I'm going to present you. This is what happened to this crop. They were cutting it. When they realized this was there, they stopped the cutting and they let us go and do some filming. And from above, and then we reconstruct this, and we didn't understand it then, but we realized, okay, this is a recreation. This is the sun, this is Mercury, this is Venus, this is the Earth and the moon, and this is something coming. You know, it's a month later, or 2 months later, in February 2012, we found out that a huge meteorite was coming to Earth, 2012 VA 14th. And they said it was going to come on February 15th. Here is a diagram exact, and we can see exactly how it looks like. Okay. They told us, be aware of a huge asteroid that is coming. And that takes us to Chelyabinsk, the place where this happened. Okay, in 2008, we have this video. It's strange, I cannot tell you anything. Looks like a face. Two eyes. It's just curious because it was the first event then. Then on December 23rd, 2012, at least 20 people recorded this UFO going around the city. And for the first time, we saw this light surrounded by ionized air. It means that this object had energy there, because as you can see, it moves all together. 11 people recorded this. Was the first time, and then we didn't know what was going to happen in Chelyabinsk. This is the same place where the meteorite hit on February 15th. Probably they were somehow investigating the area where they probably knew this was going to happen. Good quality, bad quality, but 20 videos. And you can see the energy surrounding the small object, which proves that this is not from Earth.
Покажи пальцем! Это неопознанный летающий объект, это реально! Блядь, покажи пальцем!
Обитателей небольшого уральского поселка беспокоят проблемы внеземных цивилизаций.
And the sightings continue.
В небе неопознанный летающий объект и с тех пор не чувствует себя в безопасности.
Сначала заметила 3 огня. Я подумала, что это охотники. Потом
This is February 2012.
Я забежала к мужу.
Казалось бы, ЧП это назвать сложно, вот только для жителей поселка Аширова это настоящее происшествие. Первыми нечто, их дом самый крайний. В первую ночь, вспоминают, вспышки были ярче и еще ближе к квартире. Все назвали его ненормальной, как такое может. Кстати, учителя тоже лишь крутили пальцем у виска. Ранее, например, считают, что это радиация, и уже решил, как потратить отложенную премию, купить дозиметр, конечно. Жанна всерьез думает, что это
This is November 2012. Again, we have this kind of sighting.
Видел, я отсюда появилась? Вон, видишь, они, дым даже идет из них. Вот они, по-моему, подбитые. Видишь, они даже падают, видишь? Вот они закалерали. Вон второй появился. Не мигает, вообще как закалеры, я тебе говорю, закалеры падают.
This is November the 6th, 2012. This was also presented in the news. 2 lights playing in the sky in Chelyabinsk. Recorded with a cell phone by a young girl. This video was presented by 3 different networks in Russia. They were aware of what was happening now in Chelyabinsk. In Mexico, I mean, when this meteorite fell, people called me to say, oh, you were presented in Chelyabinsk. Chelyabinsk, yes, we did, but we didn't know what was going to happen. Nobody knew. I have to tell you, we investigated Chelyabinsk, and it seems that in 1957 and 1967, there were 2 big nuclear accidents. Now look at this video. This is strange. These 2 objects, what are they? Not very good quality, but still there. They look like plasma objects. Chelyabinsk again. '16th of January 2013, again, Chelyabinsk, and more sightings. The same rhomboid object. Can you imagine how they feel now after all these sightings? And after being hit by a meteorite, they are correlating this. And a big surprise was coming. This is January 30th, 2013, again Chelyabinsk. And again the same kind of phenomenon or sighting as we have seen since June last year in Colorado Springs. These objects appearing and disappearing, appearing and disappearing, like Melbourne, London, so many other places. It's also a cell phone, and that is why the quality sometimes is not very good. But at least we have it. Okay, now we have... You know what it is? Everybody have seen these images. the biggest meteorite that have hit the Earth in 100 years. This kind of events happen once every 100 years.
Ебать, Что это хуйня? Что это такое? Бомбардировка, нахуй! Я сейчас подойду, подожди.
This was announced more than a year before that, and with the sightings, they somehow were presenting themselves where this was going to happen. Now we know they care, or some of them care. And you know this video. We have analyzed this video. Something comes from behind and makes the meteorite explode. This is coming from behind, then goes through the meteorite and then spells many pieces. Look at it. It's coming, hitting, destroying. It seems that they took care of this and avoided a bigger accident. That is why probably we had so many sightings in Chelyabinsk. I don't know, it's a possibility. And as I said, it's a place where there is so much radioactivity still. There were two big, huge nuclear accidents. Okay, then we have Russia. It's presenting this in the television. They saw in some of the videos objects that shouldn't be there. Right in the moment, well, this is CNN.
Let's say a kitchen table for it to enter atmosphere and cause an explosion.
See the object here? I don't know how big it is. Probably just a device to check what happened or what was going to happen there. Probably they were very interested because the same night we had another sighting. On February 15th, unfortunately, this screen you don't see it very well. And in that one you see it better. The three objects moving in the city. Above Chelyabinsk.
Crashed Friday to look for remains, but have been unable to find any large pieces so far.
And when they were making a report, you can see this object in the back. This is where the meteorite fell.
Also joined the search
and disappears.
Fragments.
This was presented in Russia. Believe me, they are now a very different society, and they are, Dolores can tell you about that. She goes there very often. And they are so interested in this phenomenon. Okay, this is from today.
Ой, блядь, опять летит он в Челябинске, ебаный в рот.
We have again this object.
Ложки, нахуй, они пиздец пали, нахуй. Ну что это такое летит? Да стопудово, это котензировка. Такое количество просто. Разработки. больше нигде нету. О, нихуя, они как делают. Ах, нихуя.
They are still interested in this place for some reason. And this is from yesterday too. They found finally a 10 kilos meteorite, one part of this meteorite, a fragment of the meteorite, which is 10 kilos, and they will be able to investigate this. After so much looking, they found it. We go to something really interesting too. More. Okay, well, this is, as you know, December the 9th, 2009, one day before President Obama received the Nobel Peace Prize. And this is in Norway, in Tromsø, Norway, inside the polar circle. And immediately some people say, oh, that's a Russian missile. But the Russians came and they say, that's not a missile, that is not ours. And then the Norway military men came and said, that's not something that came from Russia. It's unknown and we don't know the origin of this. And why is this interesting? Because it happened many times in the year after in different parts of the world. That was Norway. Well, this is Australia in May 2010, and we have the same event, and this time nobody claimed that this was a Russian missile. Signs in the sky, that's what we call it, messages in the sky. Remember, we have sounds, we have messages on the ground, we have the sign in Jerusalem, we have this in different countries, in Australia, and this is Mongolia in July that year, in the sky too. Why? And then we had this in New Zealand in September 2010. A beautiful circle in the sky. A woman took 22 photographs with her son of this incredible event. But then, this is what we found in all the cultures from the Paleolithic in the world. These spirals have 25,000 years, 20,000 years, 10,000 years, 30,000 years. And we find them everywhere in the world. In Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in America, in the United States, in Mexico, everywhere. We have these spirals in the crop circles. It is something the old people, the old civilizations saw in the sky. Then, for some reason, it happened too with the auroras. In 2010, we have many different auroras with this same sign. And then, as they appear, they disappear. Now, in October 22, 2011, in Moscow, we have this. We have investigate this case. This is not laser in the sky. If you want to project a laser in the sky, you need a cloud. You need something as a board. If you don't have it, you cannot do it. Otherwise, we would have Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola and everything. You know? would be so easy and cheap. Looked at it.
Что это? Что это? Смотрите, зеленый появился. Это что вообще?
Это пришельцы. Девчонки, это точно пришельцы.
А что это? Смотри, бля, нихуя себе, что это за руки? Смотри, дай. Нихуя себе, смотри. Да, смотри наверх, смотри. Смотри, второй, смотри. Блядь, ебать, нахуй. Чё за дрянь, блядь? Ебать, когда в небе, ебаный в рот, блядь. Чё? Да ты спину-то снимай, какое небо, бля, вон там, братан, слышишь, блядь? Да бля, да пидор будет во имя, ебать. Слышишь? Да тормозни, блядь. Такая прущая дрянь, блядь. Слышишь? Тормозни, блядь. Чё там? Тормозни, там, походу, пизда какая-то хуйня, блядь. Блядь, цепкой воняет пиздец. Блядь, слышь? Слышь, ебать. Албания ТВ, блядь. Инопланетяне, я вашу маму ебал, блядь. Блядь. Пиздец, какая хуйня дикая, блядь. Блядь, пиздец, да, в натуре пиздец какой-то.
What is that, a sign? Crop circles in the sky?
Пиздец какой-то, блядь.
This was in October 2011. It seems to me that someone is trying to tell us something. Now, this is really interesting. Okay, this is the national news in Mexico. Okay, Televisa is a network as big as CBS, NBC, etc. It's a very important network. It's probably the most important in the Spanish-speaking world. Televisa has a camera in front of the volcano, recording 24 hours a day and transmitting, and that way the newscast can present this immediately. This video was obtained on October 25th, 2012. And I'm saying this because some people are claiming that this was computer generated. And they are saying this because the object is so huge. It's almost a kilometer long, 3/4 of a mile long, according to the análisis.
Hasta ayer por la tarde cuando registró una fuerte exhalación. Pero tras la exhalación se registró algo que no sé qué sea.
This was a big explosion in the volcano, and then
en el cráter. Esa es la exhalación.
It goes inside the volcano, and the video is real, and we know it's real. Not just because Televisa, because we found another video recorded by the scientific camera. This camera records 10 frames per second. Okay, it's at night. It's a night vision camera. This happened at 8:45 in the night, 20:45 for 2 seconds. It lasted just 2 seconds and went inside the crater. This is the real time. Look, this is the real time. That's why nobody saw it. The scientists comment on this and they say, oh, it's a meteorite. That's what they said. Not kidding. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going inside a volcano, an active volcano? And here, this is important because you can clearly see here that the clouds are behind the object and the object is in front of the clouds or the vapor from the volcano, and which proves that is going inside the crater. And this is very important. Look at it. See there? Okay, we have, as I said, this is the scientific camera, and this camera is recording 4 frames per second, 4 frames. But we can clearly see the same object going inside the crater. Then they said, okay, before I present the other, this is the same volcano with the same camera, the scientific camera. Televisa then didn't have this kind of camera. And on February 14, 2001, just after the volcano was very active, this camera recorded this object that stayed there for at least 15-20 minutes and went very slowly into the crater of the volcano. Why? To control the activity, to stop the activity. Remember, this volcano is very close to one of the largest cities in the world, Mexico City. And we can see here that the object is going also inside. Okay. Then we have an event that is similar to this that happened in the past. Then we have the same kind of object, in this case recorded in Manchester, England, in April 2011, a year before. And it looks like the same kind of object with energy inside, including. This is Virginia, Kentucky, a week before the object went inside the volcano. A week before. This was recorded in the US. It looks very, very similar. Then we have sightings and we have different photographs taken by different people in Kentucky. But it looks very, very similar. What is this? Who knows? Okay, this is 19th of November 2012. The emergency. The emergency service for climbers to the mountains recorded the same object just standing still close to the volcano. We have also this from May 2012. We will see this a few times because you see the same kind of object went very close. And this is very near the volcanoes again. Was taken with a professional camera. These people are making a documentary around the volcano, and this object just went there 6 months. Then we have at least 4 different events where we can see the same kind of object. Okay, the Senapred said that this is a meteorite. Okay, this is the conclusion of the scientists. And they say that because none of the other cameras, this is the video from the Senapred. You can see this, and they say, okay, but none of the other cameras got this. But if you check 20, 44, it should be 45 and 46 is when the object, but then you see that this jumps from 37 to 37. It means that these cameras are taking one photo every 10 seconds. None of the cameras was on at 20, 44, 45, or 46. Different cameras. Then they cannot say that neither of the other cameras had the same kind of image, and because of that was a problem of perspective. Look the spider. Okay, well, I have the evidence here to prove that they are completely wrong. I presented this in national television, of course, and they kept quiet. But this is not all. This is not all. We have many different sightings recorded with the camera of Televisa. There are no airplanes in the area. 40 kilometers around, it's prohibited because this is a very active volcano. Okay, let's forget about that because this is important. February 21st, 2013. Now we have the same camera, the same object going above the volcano now. This is just a couple of months ago. And of course, I got the image from Senapred, from the scientists. I did it both times through the Freedom of Information Act because I asked for the images and they didn't give it to me. Then I had to ask legally with a lawyer. And here, even though it's not as spectacular, you can see the object going above the volcano exactly at the same time, the same night. You have to understand also that the camera is much less sophisticated than the one Televisa has, but the object is there very clearly. Then we have two cameras recording the same objects twice. Okay, this is what is most important for me. 2 days after the event of the volcano, the object going inside, 3 radars, the Weather Channel radar, the NOAA radar, and also the National Meteorological System of Mexico got these images. This is from the Weather Channel. You can see this huge formation. It seems magnetic in the radar, and you can see the movement and creating these 2 vortices, one in each direction. We will see that in action through the NOAA radar. This is the National Meteorological System in Mexico, and we got these vortices, and this is the NOAA. Look the movement of both, creating this Nigel presented yesterday, the flower of life, related to the energy of the pyramids. Well, you have the same here. As you can see, is the flower of life. Is this a message? This happened 1 month before the end of the Mayan calendar. Okay, it means that the seed of life, of the flower of life, is related to the cells that divide when a new being is being created, when the embryo is being created. Then that's the seed of life or the flower of life. It means probably that they were telling us here that we were just starting a new era. What is important about the 21st of December 2012 was not the end of the Mayan calendar, was the beginning of the new era. You can see both vortices here doing that movement, which I think is impossible for any malfunction of radar. We have all these images that have been obtained in different radars. I don't know about them. Probably they are created by some kind of thing, but the one that we got in Mexico, it's very different from all the rest that we have seen. Okay, just 1 month after we had this crop formation appear in Australia, again, the flower of life, the seed of life in this formation, and we have the eclipse that happened in Australia in November, and we have in the middle the seed of life. And again, I think it's a message that is telling us we are starting a new beginning right now. And this evidence from July 24th, 2009, I believe is proving what Miguel said yesterday, Miguel Grace, that these pyramids produce energy. Some people say that this is a malfunction from the camera, but I never seen a malfunction going from the middle to the end. I never seen that. It's not. If this was a malfunction, we go all the way through. Not exactly from the roof. It was taken with an iPhone. Is this a message? Is this energy? Is this awakening? You can decide what you want in here. But it's an amazing picture.
Revelación es comprender. Revelación es descubrimiento. Revelación es el futuro. Hoy vivimos tiempos extraordinarios. La humanidad está siendo visitada, de acuerdo a una investigación documentada, por más de 70 razas distintas de seres de otros mundos y posiblemente seres de otras galaxias, además de 7 genotipos distintos que han sido perfectamente identificados. Nos visitan seres con diferentes grados de evolución, incluso algunos que han alcanzado la divinidad, verdaderos hijos de la creación que superaron todos los retos y los obstáculos y lograron los niveles más altos de inteligencia. A través de los tiempos nos han dado mensajes, consejos del significado del bien, del valor de la vida, e incluso nos entregaron el concepto de Dios. El ser humano hoy tiene aún la oportunidad de crecer y evolucionar, de convertirse en protector y dador de vida, de alcanzar la misma divinidad. Pero no queda mucho tiempo. Nuestro planeta está muriendo. Hoy estos seres nos envían nuevas señales para iniciar un proceso de comunicación y de contacto. Ellos ya están aquí. Solo tenemos que aceptarlo y entonces convertirnos en adultos cósmicos. Aceptar nuestras responsabilidades y nuestro compromiso con el futuro. Cuando tenemos tanto por ganar y por perder, cuando tantos dependen de nosotros, cuando sabemos que los seres humanos que no han nacido dependen de lo que hagamos para continuar el proceso evolutivo de nuestra civilización, resulta determinante un cambio de conciencia. Conciencia que hoy se ha convertido en nuestro instrumento más importante para generar el cambio. Detrás de ese cambio se encuentra una realidad inimaginable por ahora. Ahí donde han llegado las civilizaciones que pudieron sobrevivir a sus errores y que hoy son capaces de viajar con libertad por nuestro universo. Una realidad donde no existen límites al desarrollo de la inteligencia y donde el dinero y las cosas materiales han perdido su valor. Las evidencias nos han demostrado que la vida es común en el espacio sideral, que es posible que existan seres inteligentes en Marte, que puede haber bases en nuestro satélite natural, la Luna, incluso que naves de enormes dimensiones orbitan nuestro Sol. Evidencias que también demuestran que naves de las llamadas nodrizas viajan constantemente a la Tierra transportando con ellas a naves más pequeñas. Sin embargo, lo más importante es que existen evidencias claras que demuestran que se encuentra en proceso un intento de comunicación con la humanidad, comunicación a la que tarde o temprano tendremos que responder. Más allá de los gobiernos, la sociedad civil en todo el mundo tendrá que responder a los llamados que se presentan en forma de señales en el cielo, figuras en los campos de cultivo, extraños sonidos que llegan desde el espacio y también como mensajes electromagnéticos captados por nuestros radares meteorológicos. Tarde o temprano los seres humanos tendremos que abrirnos a un proceso de comunicación. El contacto se aproxima. Las señales son cada vez más claras. Ahora solo depende de nosotros. Ellos vendrán cuando nosotros abramos la puerta, cuando iniciemos una verdadera respuesta. Hoy somos libres para sentir e imaginar. Libertad que nos ofrece un futuro que hoy es inimaginable. No debemos de sentir temor ante una inteligencia que ha demostrado madurez y compasión. El cambio ocurrirá y seremos recibidos en el universo inteligente, en el concierto de todas aquellas civilizaciones que fueron capaces de entender el verdadero sentido de la existencia, que fueron capaces de aceptar el bien sobre el mal, porque es ahí donde Dios vive. En aquellos que fueron capaces de entender el sentido mismo de la existencia. ¿Cuánto tiempo? ¿Cuánto más? ¿Hasta cuándo? Las señales dicen que muy pronto.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.